This video is all about this, the Himiway A7Pro. It's a brand new bike out. They've just come on the market. I know they're selling fast because they struggled to give us a release date so they can get the stock built back up. But it's a really interesting bike, and I've been saying this for a while. It's great to see the prices of bikes coming down. This is not a cheap bike, but this is a quality bike at a great price. And later on, the one behind it is a similar sort of spec bike from Trek, and that's twice the price of this, and I would much prefer to buy this than I would the other one. That's how good it is. Anyway, let's go off to Tea Garden for a slice of cake and see how we get on with it. What a lovely day for a ride and to test this new bike out. Nice clear display. It's in kilometres at the moment. The torque sensor works well. It's a lovely day for a ride though. Right, what cake shall we have? Ooh, look at all that. I think it's going to be a piece of that and some Earl Grey tea. So we've come up to Dalehead Farm on the bike because it's a commuter bike, and there's nothing better to do to commute to Dalehead Farm Tea Garden to have some cake. Oh, and speak of the devil. Thank you very much. Look at that. The size of that cake. It was really easy to ride this. And noticeably different with a mid-motor, a crank motor. The crank arms are quite long on this as well, and it's got a torque sensor in it, so it will only work as you start to pedal. It recognises how much effort you're putting in. It gives you the appropriate power. And there's 5 different speed settings on here, and you can tell the difference between each of them. You can hear the motor running, but it's not super loud. And they call it a commuter bike, but I think it's more of a gravel bike really. I mean, you've got full suspension, air adjusted suspension front and back, and rebound dampers in the front forks. You've got decent tyres on it. The tyres are quite thick, and the mudguards are really good. You can see there's a bit of mud splattered around it, but I'm completely clean. So as a commuter bike, if you're going to use it to go to work, you're going to stay clean as well. I like the idea it's got a fitted lock. We'll have a look in more detail about that soon. The rack's good, and it comes with these elastic bands on it, but you can take those off. You just turn this and it unclips off the actual rack, so you don't have to have it on if you don't want to. I think they're good if you want to carry your Sunday paper or something on there. Love the colour. It comes in different colours. I'll put a slide in now of the different colours that it's available in, but I really like this colour, this faded colour, and it's like a metallic. You might not be able to see it on the film, but the black side of it's like a metallic. Now you might think this is quite expensive, so check the description below, but it's listed on the website at £2,399. But for a bike of that quality, it's probably half the price of Joe's bike, and later on in the video we'll compare the two. And if this was available when we bought Joe's Trek, we'd have bought this 100% more than having her Trek one, which was, I think it was about twice the price. It was certainly over £4,000. So the quality of a bike of this, standard with all these fittings on, that £2,399 is a very good price. And you can compare those if you look at others in the market that have a central crank motor, not a hub motor, and all these extra fittings on. It's good value for its money. Anyway, time to have a bit of cake. So what do I think to it? I absolutely love it. This is an excellent bike, and regarding the money, we'll compare it with this one. This is Joe's Trek, and this is a Powerfly 7. This was over £4,000. This is, as I say, £2,399 in the listings. There may be a discount code below, or the prices may change. But comparing these two bikes, I would undoubtedly buy this one instead of that one. Same sort of guarantees, same sort of spec. The quality of the build of this is next level to a lot of bikes you see out there. Having the mid fixed motor in the middle is really good. All the fixtures and fittings and the look of this is excellent. I'd say it's not just a commuter bike, it is a gravel bike. Having full suspension and those thick tyres, definitely can use it on gravel tracks, no problem. The light on this is decent, and you switch that on by pressing the power up button and holding the power up button. It switches the front light and the back light on, and the back light's a real good location as well. And there's the back light actually fitted into the rack. There's a reflector underneath there. That's really good, isn't it? I like the design of that. The way the lock works is the key goes in here and you push this down and lock it in place. So this metal bar goes through your spokes. Obviously somebody could pick the bike up and walk away with it, but they won't be able to wheel it away or ride it away. Battery removal. Oh, take the rubber cover off. Key goes in there, you turn it and it just pops out. Nice and easy. So you can take it in the house to charge it, and to put it back in you don't actually need the key. Just slides in at the bottom and pushes in like so. Or you obviously can charge it through the frame as well. The display does everything you would expect it to. Tells you how fast you're going, how much power you're using, how much battery life you've got, your speed. You can change that from kilometres to miles an hour, your trip, your distance, how long you've been cycling. And the buttons on the bars are really easy to change up and down the 5 speeds. But it is a torque sensor motor in the crank, so you start pedalling and it understands how much resistance is there and it gives you the appropriate power. But looking at both of these, that's a similar rack. There's no rear suspension in this. There's gas adjusted rear suspension, comes with a built-in lock. The rack is the same, if not better. It's got a dropper post on this one, so just the seat. You press that lever and slide it up and down. You're best not to do that while you're riding, but you can drop it down if you want to go down hills. Lots of fittings on here for water bottles. Very good quality forks. The tyres are good, that's why I think it's like a gravel bike as well as a commuter, but there won't be too much restriction on those when you're cycling on the road. Decent hydraulic brakes, good gear set, Shimano gears, chain guard, non-speed, and it's just the push button changes on here. Hydraulic brakes made by Shimano as well, front and back, and an integrated display into the headstock. That's where you charge it when the battery's in the bike. That seat is definitely more comfortable than that seat. I had that seat on my bike and I changed it because I found it real uncomfortable. Let's see how it goes together. This one's packaged slightly different, so I might have to actually cut the front off the box to get it off. It's actually packaged in its own sponge housing, which is new. I've not had one packaged like this before. All you can see is the top of the seat. Yeah, by the look of it, you have to cut the front off. Look at that! I ain't seen one packaged like that before. That's a great way to package them. Not that I've had any damaged bikes really, but there's no way that's going to get damaged. Super easy to get out the box. And the front wheel, which is there, is in a compartment in the back. I suppose it's a bit more awkward to get rid of, but if you ever want to transport your bike anywhere, that's ideal, isn't it? Just wrapped in like cling film plastic. So super easy to get it out of the box, and it looks relatively easy to put together. It's a case of putting the handlebars on, front wheel, mudguard and pedals, I think. Box, you get the pedals, a front light, a multi-tool, and I'll only use this to put it together. There's the charging brick, and it does come with a UK battery plug, which is good. There's some sort of clip there, I don't know what that's for. The front mudguard and the front wheel. That's just a protector for the disc brake. Come to help. More like he's looking for his lunch. Just a little tip, when you're putting these bars on, or any bars onto any bike, make sure you tighten them diagonally. So that one, that one, that one, that one, a little bit at a time. And that stops too much pressure going on one ball, and it gives you an even gap, and make sure the bars won't move. So just do them diagonally. Tighten them up by hand, and then when you nip them up, don't go too much, just do it diagonally. Engage the Whippet bed so it doesn't get scratched. And just to show you, this disc brake has a little piece in there, and that's to keep those pads apart for when you put the wheel in. Because if these are hydraulic brakes, when you nip them together, they can stick together. So if you're going to take the wheel out, save that, and you can put it back in and save those brake pads being nipped together. And if you can see this, there's a nut and bolt there, and I'm only trying to use the spanners that come with it. And on this there is a socket to fit that, and there is an Allen key, but you can't use them both at the same time because they're part of the same unit, and you need to have one in that way, one in that way. So I'm going to have to get a 10mm spanner just to undo this and tighten it up. It's just for the mudguard. And the mudguard was relatively straightforward. There's an Allen bolt under there which goes into the back, and then these little screws, and it wasn't a 10mm, it's an 8mm spanner you need. And the wheel, straightforward. There's the gap in the disc. Get the wheel the right way around, Dave. And just slide the disc in between the pads, like so, and put the spindle in. The mudguards, I needed to adjust the length of these so it didn't hit the tyre, and there's a little Allen screw there, and you just slide these out. And I had to drop the bracket here slightly so it didn't catch. It's not difficult, it's just lining them up, and it's the same on the other side. Make sure you get your pedals the right way around. So these are marked left and right, and they're actually marked on here, and there's arrows of directions on both the crank arms, so you don't get them in the wrong way around. People do struggle with this, but read that, and do exactly what it says, and it's really straightforward. Oop, forgot something. I need to re-undo those two screws at the bottom and fit the light. Forgot to fit the light. But I always put these bikes together without looking at the instructions, just to make sure they're easy enough to put together. This piece of plastic and a screw covers these cables here. So you push it over the cables, clip it down and screw it in. This is a well impressive bike. The quality of the parts on it are excellent. Really good quality forks that you can lock off. They've got rebound adjustments on the bottom. They are adjustable air forks as well. Rear shock is an air shock as well. The manufacturing and the quality of it is excellent. Really is good. Lock on the back. Built into the bike. This adjustable seat's interesting, so it's like a dropper push, so it's on a spring, but you just lift that lever, which is quite clever. The all important information to prove it's a UK spec motor and a UK bike, and at the bottom of the motor there's stamps on the motor as well to show it's a 250 watt UK motor. The instruction book, now looking at after I've put it together, it's got good assembly instructions in. It covers all aspects of the bike. Got the battery out and charging it, just plugs into the side. It's a quiet charger. To take the battery out, you just literally turn the key and press it in, and it unclips and you can lift it out. Indicator on the battery, you press the button, it tells you how much power's in there. It's fully charged. This goes green. So there we have it, the Himiway A7Pro commuter bike, which I think is more like a hybrid gravel bike. Perfectly adequate to use on tracks, gravel tracks. You probably won't use it on off-road courses, it's not built for that, but certainly on a weekend, if you're commuting to work on it during the week, perfect. And on a weekend, if you want to bring it up somewhere like this, the North York Moors, and take it on some of the gravel tracks around here, the cycle tracks, perfectly adequate with the suspension on this. It's really good. Lots of spec in the instruction. Lots of information in the website down below, and if there is any discount codes, please do check it. These prices do vary over time, so when I'm filming this, I've told you how much it is at the moment, but it may be different by the time you watch this video in 6 months, a year's time or whatever. So do check the description. I do update the prices if I get them sent through, but I always put the website in so you can look at the full spec and everything. I'm 6 foot tall. I had no problem riding this, and I had the seat lifted by about a couple of inches, so it was no problem for me. I would imagine somebody 5, Joe probably be able to ride this, and she's 5'5", I'm 6 foot, and you'd be able to ride it probably 6'5". But all the information of the sizes of the reach, the bars, the height from the floor, and the clearance on the bottom bracket as well will all be in the specifications on their website, so do check that out. So that just leaves me to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.